Today I just wanted to talk to you about working your sphere. I think a lot of us tend to uh, kind of keep looking for that next uh, big, better, shiny tool that we have heard and have really gotten great clients from the internet. But I think most people tend to forget that it's easier to give someone who knows and trusts you advice than it is someone who calls you or someone who you call that is an online lead. And it's you have to, not only do you have to sell your city, sell the neighborhood, sell the lender that you're using, you also have to sell yourself to those online people. But when they know you, you don't. People prefer to do business with people that they know, like, and trust. So we really have to work harder for those online leads than we do for the people who are already in our sphere. I'm not saying to give up online presence, absolutely not. There is, as many of the other speakers have mentioned, there is always, we're always changing in our business, and there are different arms and legs, has been showed, to each of our business plans, and I think you kind of have to tweak it. We really are in a changing business. You have to tweak it. Some years, a couple of years ago, my sphere was quiet. They knew no one who was moving. They knew no one who cared to think about selling their house. Everybody was afraid to buy a house, and so I really had to focus on my online leads. But I think working your sphere, and you can change that, Bob. I think working your sphere is probably the best way to keep up with all of these people. And just like Bob said, those people are always going to be there for you. And the longer you're in the business, the larger your sphere, or the more loyal your sphere is. Did you guys know that over 90% of real estate consumers never hear from their realtor after the closing? They don't call their clients as they drive away and say, hey, I want to bring you a cooler of Coke or waters for your movers tomorrow. I'll see you in the morning. They don't even call them to say thank you for this. That just blows my mind. That's 90%. So if you're in the 10% that do call and do keep up with your sphere, then you understand what working your sphere does for you. Every person in your sphere knows 4 people who are going to be moving this year. If you have a sphere of 100 and only one of those people give you or get a referral for you from your members of your sphere, that's 100 closings in a year if you kept up with your sphere. Okay, Bob. Something to ponder. This is not to step on anyone's toes who has spoken before, but how many billboards, print advertisements, internet articles or blog posts or radio ads do you think an agent in your area would have to spend money on to take your loyal clients away from you? It should bankrupt them if they're coming after my clients, because I keep up with them. They're not going to win my clients with those radio ads. They're not going to win my clients with those internet articles or posts. They're not going to win my clients chatting up with them on Facebook. My clients they're my sphere. They're the people that I talk to, regularly, and they're going to not be swayed by this fancy billboard that you may see on the way to the city or wherever. But anyway, okay, Bob. So I think that's where so many agents, they think the closing is done and we're done. That was a tough deal. We've got it all done. I got to move on to the next person. But it really doesn't take more than a couple of minutes for that phone call, and schedule a half an hour to stop by and say hey and see how the new furniture looks in the living room for your buyers. 50% of home buyers don't even remember their agent's names 30 days after the sale. Well, that's because we haven't called them. 73% of home buyers can't remember what they paid for their home. And I just had a call from somebody the other day that they've decided that they're ready to put their house back on the market, and they were asking me if I could pull their old HUD for them. and tell them what they paid for it. And I said, I can tell you exactly what you paid for it. And he was like, wow, you've got a memory. I can't believe you can remember that. And I said, you know, we were just talking the other day about you selling your house, and now you've decided to do it. So I went back and looked to see, once I pulled the comps, I went back to his old file to see. So that was how I knew. But anyway, also a really interesting fact is 66% of buyers remember who the listing brokerage is. They remember whose sign was in the front yard, but they don't remember their agent that sold them the house, their buyer's agent that sold them the house. They don't remember them. That's sad. 71% remember where they attended closing, and that is so true. I don't know why that is, but I guess it's a momentous occasion, and maybe we should all do more of those cute little blogs that we do with people at the closing table. I think that's something that's near and dear to their hearts, obviously. Okay, Bob. So tips on focusing on working your plan. When we are in a customer-centric business, we are in the referral business, we are in the business that we generate repeat clients, and that is so important to our success. And so many of us, obviously, just as the NAR says, 90% of us drop the ball after the sale. Imagine how wonderful you're going to sound at the office of your Wells Fargo client who just closed, and you did a great job for them, and wow, it was great to see my agent last week. And these people aren't in the lending business, they're in different parts of the bank, but you're going to be the hero, because other people are going to say, I haven't heard from my agent since we closed on our house 5 years ago. I just think that's sad, and I think that's what's going to separate you from the rest. Tips on keeping up with your sphere: don't talk to them, ask them questions. Have a plan and focus on your business. Bob?
I'm coming, sorry.
I'm so sorry. I hate it if I can't get this thing fixed. Next time it won't be like this. But anyway,
What
um,
for it?
creating a contact system, holding yourself accountable, or having an accountability partner, as Sue mentioned, is a true way to become successful. A business that gives predictable results is one that you can sell in the marketplace. Barbara Corcoran just sold her business for what, $6 billion. She had a fantastic brokerage in Manhattan that she built herself, and she just sold it. But she couldn't have sold it without a system. And if you are running a business, so get your system into place. Make it customer centric. It's all about your clients, and make it a business that you can sell. I think a lot of people do forget that if you don't have a system, it's really hard to fly by the seat of your pants. I don't think that I did it the first couple of years I was in the business, and once I kind of figured out what I was doing, I decided to do it the right way, and it's really proven to be beneficial for me and my clients. How many in your database? Are you time blocking, working that calendar, and keeping up with the systems? Those are some ideas for you to kind of put into a plan for yourself. How many are a good number for your database? I hear 50, I hear 100, I hear 200. And I think that's very important to keep up with your prime number, your warmer leads. You have to know your sphere. Know if you're talking to somebody and they wanted to see, oh, what about that neighborhood over across town, whatever. Oh, you should go to my website. Here's a link to it. I was all about marrying ActiveRain with my WordPress, but I'm also all about marrying my sphere with my WordPress, because they're also going to send somebody, hey, did you see this write-up about our neighborhood, or did you see this information about this community or whatever. I think they they enjoy doing that. And I get a lot of links from friends that they found something online and they send it to me. So, and I know people are doing that, especially with one of my IDXs. I see people sending things to other people, and I really like that. There are peace people that don't want to make a decision. There are perfection people who want lots of details, and power people who want a minute of your time, and they want lots of stats packed into that 1 minute. So know your sphere when you call them and give them what they want. Give them what they need, and just make sure that you are addressing all of their needs when you talk to them. I think a lot of us kind of forget, and we just do these warm calls, and they're just we're not addressing the client. We're talking about real estate. Don't forget that even the well-satisfied clients will forget you when you 5 or 10 years after the sale if you don't follow up. So why should they reward you with repeat business if you've completely dropped them after the sale? So that remaining top of mind, as Sue said, is definitely important. Take the initiative and make the calls. Send the emails and wine and dine your sphere. Be personable with them. Be a problem solver for them. Give more, and just as I said on the slide, if you under-promise, over-deliver, we're sick of hearing that, but that is how we roll, baby. Quick question. I have a cute little story. There's a broker in charge that is here in Charlotte. I absolutely adore him, and still on my desk is a stack of cards that he has sent me for every award I've ever won, for every big month I've ever had, for even now that I'm not working with him, I get these wonderful personal cards from him. I don't get personal cards from anybody else, and I can tell you those are like prized possessions on my desk. I think that we tend to send out emails, and I am the worst for that, but a handwritten card means so much. If it's at a birthday, if it's at a birth of a child, death of a family member, anything that you can write, and I'm not talking about packing your business cards in there. Send them a handwritten card, let them know you're a person and you care. You can still do email, but snail mail works better than you can ever imagine. And birthdays, that's another time to make sure that you get in front of your clients. Send them a birthday card. Yes, a Facebook wish is nice. I just had, I don't know how many hundreds of happy birthday wishes on my Facebook on Monday. I have no idea who half of those people are on there, because when I first joined Facebook, I friended everybody, and I didn't know, everybody that I was friending. But the sad thing was that people would say happy birthday, and I didn't know who it was, so I would have to click on their name and find out who they were. It took me all day just about to respond to them. I think you need to make sure that you're more personable with your sphere. Use birthday cards, or give them a phone call, or use it as the annual opportunity to be face-to-face with them. Invite them to lunch, let's have coffee before work, or deliver a bottle of wine to them, or something nice, tickets to the theater, whatever, but just be personable and let them know that you think they're special. The calls being genuine is another thing that this is a big ninja thing that I learned, and I absolutely believe in it. It has truly worked for my business. But when you call someone, they don't, as a business person, I'll give you a prime example. I just had lunch with somebody on Friday of last week, and I was kind of dreading it. It was another vendor, and I liked the guy, but I was kind of thinking, oh, he's going to try to sell me. This is all I get is sell, 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 sell. But I really liked the guy, so I gave him the opportunity to, he wasn't a hard sell at all. He was talking very, very personable. He was very personable with me, and we actually came away from that with a huge business plan of working together, and I never anticipated that at all. But so forward your clients. When you call them, it's a 2-minute phone call. talk about their family, talk about their jobs, talk about what they're doing for vacation for the summer, talk about what they plan to do when the kids graduate from high school and go off to college. And just be personable with them. Don't talk about real estate. I promise you, real estate will be brought up in the conversation by them. But in the meantime, let them do it. Ask them how their children are. How's your mom? How's the renovation going? Ask them personal questions. Don't say, well, I was just calling to see if you knew anybody that was buying or selling a house or thinking of buying, or that's a hard sell and people don't, I don't like it. My clients don't like it. So I really use the soft sell, not to mention it's genuine because I love my clients. I've gotten to know them. We've worked together, and I won't say I call every one of them back. There are some that I really don't want to work with again. That does happen. But anyway, when to call the when's, where's, and how's. When to call, how often to call, and asking them questions. I call when I'm in my car. I don't have, I say time blocking is important. I don't necessarily do it. I have a little lady on my computer that tells me when it's every hour on the hour so I can move to my next task, but I don't stick to it that well. I call my sphere in my car when I'm going from appointment to appointment, or even if I'm just on the way to the grocery store. Who's next? Whose birthday is this month? You know, and it really works well for me. You can call once a month, call every other month, whatever works for you, just as long as you stay in front of these people. And if real estate is brought up, you better, especially for your power people, you better know your market stats. What's your average sales price per home in the Charlotte region? You better know these stats because those power people are going to ask you. Break bread with one of your sphere at least once a week. That is going to lunch with them, having coffee with them, dinner, whatever. Once a week, face to face. Bring them into your online sphere. Bring them in onto your Facebook. Oh, did you see that on Pinterest? Pinterest has been a big topic lately with some of my sphere. They are loving Pinterest, and I actually found one of mine is really into some really cool recipes, and I like eccentric food, and that was kind of one of the interesting things that I wound up hooking her up with somebody else who also liked the same thing. And introduce them to your friends and other clients, anybody in the community. That's also important, especially once they've just moved here or moved to your area. Just make sure that they're getting introduced to some people. Send handwritten cards, as I said, for birthdays for the clients and their children, anniversaries, either for their marriage or for the sale of their home, and holidays. And you've already worked with them, so you know what holidays they celebrate, you know what holidays are important to them. Focus on your plan, focus on customer satisfaction, and make sure that you're adding value to the needs of your sphere. Bob, you're doing good with this.
Aha, that's right. Thank you.
Just like I said, you want to know your market and your sphere better than anybody else, because that person on that billboard is not going to take my sphere away from me. The person on the radio, my clients would not think of calling that person. So that's what you need to be. You need to be your sphere's #1 realtor. First person that comes to mind.
You know what's funny, Debbie? You said you didn't want to step on anybody's toes, and Ryan was on here earlier doing radio. The funny thing is that he's taking someone else's client, and he's doing, he's getting a lot of their clients, and so I mean, it's pretty obvious that 90% of them aren't, aren't following up to any degree because they're going and listening with a guy like Ryan who's out there on the radio. So yeah, that's a.
And there are going to be some clients, Debbie, you don't want, as you mentioned. So let Ryan have those when you want to sell something else, right? Let Ryan have those. Debbie.